Welcome to the wild world of sports at Disney. Yes, Champion Stadium in Mickey's home is where you find us today. I'm Mike Petraglia, joined by Red Sox senior writer and site editor for WEEI.com, Rob Bradford. Rob, first things first, John Lackey, how did you think he looked? You did the game on WEEI. He got 87 pitches, I believe it was in. He got hit around a bit, but he said afterwards, he told us, he felt good.
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing, by the way, I do like wild world of sports instead of wide world of sports, much better. You're coining a phrase, I like that. But John Lackey, the most important thing is number one, staying healthy, which he almost didn't do today. He got hit right in the thigh. And number two, getting the pitch count up. So those were the two most important things. But this is two straight outings here, which he's been knocked around a little bit. You like to see him get some momentum heading into the regular season, get some results, get some swings and misses, get some ground balls. So, in respect of getting pitches, having health was great, but I think for a guy who made the 3.5-hour trip, he probably wanted a different start day.
There's also a situation in that very eventful third inning where a brave leadoff hitter, Schaefer, dropped a drag bunt right in the Bermuda Triangle of the infield between second base, first base, and the pitcher's mound. Dustin Pedroia was joking with us after the game. He said, "I'm giving way to John Lackey. When I saw Lackey coming, I got the heck out of the way because I didn't want to hurt myself."
It was one of the best plays you'll see a pitcher make defensively. It really was. And certainly the best play I've seen this spring, because he's basically just swiping at the ball and hoping it goes right to the first baseman while running away from the play. And it was just an extremely good play. And it also spoke to what type of fielder John Lackey is. I think that's one of the underrated things about his year last year is because he dropped the weight, because he became athletic, more athletic, then he was a much better fielder. I think that translated today.
And if you're wondering about the, I believe it is now 20 hits in 12 and a third innings, 13 earned runs that he's given up, I asked John Lackey about it and he said, "Come on, man, it's spring training. I'm not worried about much right now. I'm just worried about getting my pitches in." His slider, he actually thought he threw a couple of very good ones. The last one he threw to Dan Ugla was hit for a sky ball home run. Both home runs John Lackey gave up today were kind of wind blown and very high in this very hitters friendly ballpark. Let's talk about some news away from Disney for a moment, Rob, and that is David Ortiz. There is reports that we're getting closer and closer on some contract talks. He went 0 for 3 in a minor league game on Friday. He had today, Saturday, completely off before he gets back to play on Sunday. Anything to report?
Nothing to report today, as you said, that he had the day completely off. I mean, he wasn't even coming to the park at all, and this is kind of the calm before the storm, because I do think a deal is going to get done, and it's probably going to get done in the next couple of days. And then you get to next week, where David Ortiz is going to get a lot of at-bats. The regulars are going to get a lot of at-bats. So I think it's a great thing for David Ortiz, because this is one of the things that he wanted to do, right? He wanted to be able to go into the regular season and feel like nothing was going to be on his mind. Certainly we see what the contract has done to him in the past, but I am not concerned about David Ortiz at all in terms of his spring training. I think that he knows what he's doing. He showed that last year. So this week is going to be big for him and all the regulars, just getting a lot more work.
And John Lester?
Yeah, John Lester, nothing's imminent as far as what I'm told, nothing in terms of getting a contract done, but there is optimism that it eventually gets done. I think that if it gets to the point where it is close and it could leak in the season, but I know the Red Sox have every intention of having resolution of both Lester and Ortiz before the regular season starts. They don't want it to leak into the season at all, but you know, I just think that there is both sides know what they want. They want to get a deal done. There's a lot of impetus for it. And also, listen, nobody wants to get into the season without that looking over here. And certainly, you don't want to get close to the season.
All right, back to the game real quickly. Daniel Nava had another experience on the base pass. I think you mentioned to me on the way down to the field that he is leading the team this spring training in rundowns. That's not a stat you hear very often, and maybe not a stat that a lot of base runners want to hear, you know, good or bad, or certainly on the negative side. John Farrell told us after the game that rundown situation early in the game, I believe it was the third inning, Shane Victorino on first base read the break of Daniel Nava off second base, and that's why Victorino took off. It was not a called steal, but rather something that happens, you know, just through the course of another player reading another.
Yeah, and I think what you take out of it, Trags, is that Victorino was trying to be more aggressive on the base pass. Not only in that instance, they got thrown out in front of steal earlier, and that tells me that he's feeling better, and also tells you that he is amping up as we're getting closer. This is a guy who's been banged up throughout spring training, but now he feels the injuries. Either he's figured them out or they've subsided a little bit, and by him executing the running game as much as he did, that is a sign that he really wants to push that envelope. And also, Trags, base running was one of the things I want to emphasize as a whole, right? I mean, this was one of the strengths of last year, and today you saw them be a little more aggressive, and that's another thing this week coming up I think you'll see more.
And that's exactly what John Farrell told us after the game. Look, we want to be more aggressive on the base pass, and we certainly spoke to Daniel Nava about that. And he said, look, if Daniel Nava is going to be at the top of the order, which he very well could be, and hitting in front of Shane Victorino, that is something we have to work on down here in spring training. That'll wrap it up from this Saturday in Disney. The Braves win it by a score of 6-3. Red Sox return to JetBlue Park on Sunday to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. We are just about 8 days away from the season opener at Camden Yards in Baltimore. The Red Sox begin in earnest their defense of their 2013 World Series title. For Rob Bradford, I'm Mike Petraglia, WEEI.com.